And as I read about you, I saw you talking about the tour to the Antarctic and the canyons of North America that you took, and how it influenced your artwork at large, which also has been like documented into various books. So could you please share the experience with us?
Okay, so yes, you're right. Traveling has always been, for me, a big joy and absolutely a source of inspiration. I find visiting new countries, uh, being in touch with new cultures, with people that are of different background, different race, different maybe interests, religion, different food, different language, you call it. I find all of that very interesting, very exciting, and I also find the differences in nature one just wonderful. So I told you I made my light objects and then I moved into blown glass. And I did that together with a very dear friend of mine, Neil Wilkin in England. So in the beginning, I tried to learn about glass blowing, but I never became a good blower. I'm a poor assistant at best, but I have deeply studied glass, how it moves, how it likes to find its own shapes. And I think understanding material is very important, even if you're not making, if you're not working it yourself. So I work with Neil Wilkin as the master gaffer, master blower in the chair. And then we had a team of 6, 7, sometimes 8 people to make, especially the larger vessels, to blow them. We needed a big team. So using growl technique, I won't go into it because it's very technical, but it allows you to make patterns or even drawings in the glass. Excuse me. The thing is that I would be able to put my inspiration into these blown sculptures or vessel shapes or whatever they are. But when I went to the Antarctic in 2001, I had a bit of an issue when I came back. The first mistake I made was I came back in Holland on Monday, and on Saturday I flew to England to start working on all these ideas that I had from going to the Antarctic, which was so special, such a beautiful, amazing landscape. And I didn't just go on a boat, I went on a square-rigged 3-master. And my favorite place would be to sit on the bowsprit till the captain told me to get my ass off the bowsprit and get inside because the boat was making too much movement and all of that. But I loved it so much because I was so close to nature, because when you're on the bowsprit, you go up and down with the boat and the waves. And I had these icebergs, some were huge and some were small, and even the small ones could be so beautiful, So coming back, I wanted to blow these things, all these ideas and inspiration, and it was the worst week of blowing glass we ever had. It was terrible. And the reason was that I didn't allow for the inspiration to kind of go through my system and to think about everything, and not just do stuff out of enthusiasm, but also because you actually understanding what you saw, you made it yours. It's a little bit, it's a little bit like an espresso machine. You put coffee in, you put water in, but then you have to bring up the pressure. You have to create that pressure. And when the pressure is there, the coffee comes out, but it doesn't come out all at once. It comes out drip by drip by drip. And I hadn't allowed that process of the espresso machine to happen yet. So I didn't touch the subject for 6 months. We didn't blow anything that was inspired by the Antarctic for 6 months. Then I felt I was ready to work with it. And we made some, I think, some quite successful, quite beautiful vessels and other shapes also, even ice, kind of ice shapes, from hot glass. But I realized after a while that I saw all these beautiful icebergs and I was so inspired by the icebergs and I wanted to make icebergs and I couldn't do it in blown glass. But being trained as a sculptor, I had no problem to switch material. And I started to basically to cut, to shape out of blocks of foam these sculptures that could then be taken to the Czech Republic, and we would make molds on my model, if you like, and fill it with glass, put it in the oven, heat up the glass till it melts, and the whole kiln casting process, So going to the Antarctic was a major step for me in my artistic development. So the first time was from making light objects to understanding that maybe glass blowing could be an interesting alternative. Now I was doing sculptures in kiln casting technique, and it was very interesting because we did an exhibition. I had 21 of these iceberg sculptures, and we did a solo show in a gallery, and the gallery owner said to me, how do we tell the people who are used to seeing your blown glass that they should now, be interested in your cast glass? And we decided to make a little video, which is also on my website, where you actually see me on board of the square rigged three master, bobbing on the waves, and we sent that out to 3,000 collectors, and they showed up. I gave a lecture before they were allowed into the gallery. I gave a lecture. We had about 300 people, well, I can't tell you the emotion that I felt when I saw people walk into my exhibition and just loving the sculptures. People were so what's the word? They were so taken and so enthusiastic about what was so dear to me, And we actually, that was my first and my only exhibition where I had a sellout. We sold everything within 1 week, and that to me was fantastic because I was very successful with the blown glass. People liked my blown glass, but the icebergs had so much more to say for me. There were so many stories behind them, and sure, the blown glass had stories too, but I think it was more understandable for people. So the iceberg series was very successful, yes.